has been shaken up. John Avery kicks it outside. Avery! Touchdown!
What a day of football we had on Championship Sunday that results in this matchup of the 92nd Grey Cup, the Toronto Argonauts and the BC Lions, coming up this Sunday at Frank Clair Stadium. And hi, everybody. Welcome to Ottawa. We're right across the street from that stadium here in the Aberdeen Pavilion, site of the Urban Mail Magazine Party, which is going to start on Thursday night, so it's all quiet right now. Not so quiet tomorrow. Right off the top, it is our pleasure to welcome our guest analysts all this week on CFL Live of the Grey Cup, head coach of the Ottawa Renegades, Joe Paopao. Welcome, you, Joe. It's a pleasure to have you aboard. And I'm excited to have him because, you know, you've been the quarterback of the panel for a long time, but now we have a real quarterback, and you're on the bubble, my friend. Dude, I'm on the bubble already. You're on the bubble. Because I like played and everything. Oh, wait a minute. One other thing we got to set straight here is that Jock, who usually sits right here where Glenn is, Jock Climby, his lovely wife Emily, Jock lives in the area. He got called away because she went into labor on Wednesday. We don't have any news yet. When we know, Schultze, we'll pass it along to the faithful viewers out there. But we got a lot of ground to cover here over the next half hour, starting with the two practices that both teams went through on kind of a chilly, overcast day here in Ottawa. They went through their paces across the field at Frank Clair Stadium, and our Farhan Lalji was there.
Damon Allen had planned to finish his career as a BC Lion, but when Wally Buono came to BC, that plan ended. For most players, a shot at their former team in the Grey Cup would be the perfect opportunity for revenge. But the 20-year CFL veteran doesn't see it that way.
Well, now it's been 2 years, so you somewhat forgot about you know, what you've dealt with over the past year. When it happened, I think it was the proper time to deal with it.
And it was tough for a lot of guys other than Damon. But, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, it worked out where he got another opportunity to show that he can play, and he's proven it.
I don't know what's going through his mind, but I know what's going through our mind right now. We just got to put the helmet on him. I think he just slowed down a little bit because I don't see the shakes and all that stuff like he had, but he still got it now. You can't take nothing away from him. He still got it.
Allen is not the only Argo to have strong ties to the Lions. In all, 14 members of the Argos organization spent at least 1 year in BC.
I think that when you play friends, the intensity is more because you got to hang out with them. And when you hang out with them, you know, you want to be able to have the last say. And the only way you have the last say is to kick their butts on the field.
Allen didn't appear to be feeling the effects of a knee injury suffered in the Eastern Final as he took most of the first-team reps in practice Wednesday. For the Lions, Dave Dickinson and Casey Printers shared the reps. The shoulder injury Printers suffered in the West Final does not appear to be slowing him down either.
It's just a bruise, and a bruise is just something that will go away, you know, with icing and just a little rest. So we got 5 more days to do what I have to do, and we'll be ready to play.
Today I felt I was moved around pretty good, and like I said, I was a little sore. You know, maybe because I'm 41 years old, and it takes me a little longer to get loosened, but I'm excited about this week.
Well, there is a heavy Lions flavor in the Argos organization. There are just 2 ex-Argos involved with the Lions. Late season acquisition Darren Joseph and Director of Player Personnel Bob Obilovich. Obi arrives in town on Thursday. He was the winning head coach for the Argos when these 2 teams last met in the Grey Cup 21 years ago. Farhan Lalji, TSN.
That was a Grey Cup when Joe Paopao was with the BC Lions, backup quarterback then to Roy DeWalt. So we're going to put you to work right away. You have coached Damon Allen. You know him pretty well. Do you think that's in the back of his mind, facing his old team in the Grey Cup?
Well, Dave, I can tell you this. You know, Damon's such a professional. You know, his key priority this week is to prepare for the game. It's the biggest game of the year. He wants to know the tendencies, and more importantly, Chris, he wants to know the conversion on second downs. And, you know, he's a pro.
You know, Coach, on a scale of 1 to 10, Damon Allen, this is a distant 10. I mean, all football players at one time, they either have to retire or they get cut. And it's all how you handle it. Now, if Damon Allen holds resentments, all that negative energy, that does nothing to enhance or help them win this football football game, I don't think he thinks about it at all. I don't even think it's an issue, Glenn.
I don't either, Chris. And, you know, turnovers could be a big part of this football game, as they are in any game of this magnitude. And think back to that Western final. The Kenton Keith turnover was a turning point in that game. And Damon Allen, throughout his career, has found a way to avoid the turnover. He wins games by throwing the football 180 yards, maybe just one touchdown, maybe rushing for 35 yards at key moments in the game, but he avoids the bad interception.
Well, the numbers back you up. He's played in 4 Grey Cups, 92 pass attempts, just 2 interceptions. And the last time he was in a Grey Cup and won it, 2000, you were his offensive coordinator at BC. No picks that day, right, Coach?
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here from Ottawa. You're watching CFL Live, and when we come back, the coaches have their say. Wally Buono and Mike Pinball Clemens. And welcome back to Ottawa, everyone. CFL Live at the Grey Cup. Dave Randorf, Glenn Suter, Ottawa Renegades head coach Joe Pow and Chris Schultz. The head coach's press conference held early Wednesday morning. Much too early for Glenn Suter. You had to, we got the details coming up.
Yeah, I'll pay attention.
That's okay. We got a little report coming up here. This is old hat for Wally Buono. This is his 7th time coaching in a Grey Cup, and his first as the head coach of the BC Lions. And for Mike Pinball Clemens, his first time around as a head coach after winning 3 times as a player. Here's Michael Whalen.
When the 2 coaches that are going to the big game meet the media during Grey Cup week, don't look for too much controversy. But you can expect a few laughs. For instance, here's what they had to say when they were asked if their players should be barred from having sex before the game.
Far be it from me to interrupt what may be a player's normal course of action. For readying himself for a game. If it has worked thus far, please indulge. If it has not benefited you to this point, please abstain.
If they're out partying, or if they're out studying, or if they're home watching TV, most of the guys go back and play these games, these little video games. That's all they do. They just tell you they do stuff. They really don't. They go back, play these little idiot games, and they come back tired because they don't go to bed playing these games, right?
There was some controversy, however, between the 2 coaches just a few weeks ago when Wally Buono publicly criticized Clemens for resting 10 to 12 of his veterans for a season-ending game against the Alouettes.
With all due respect to my wonderful counterpart, he doesn't know the situation that our players were in. I think from a surface standpoint, the way it looks is one thing. What was actually happening with our football team is totally another thing.
Obviously, I'm going to say this in a nice way. Pinball was right because he's here. Just leave it at that.
Wally Buono walked into the press conference dressed in his usual casual style. This is almost old hat for him. Pinball, though, was dressed to the nines, not in his ubiquitous tracksuit for once, for his first Grey Cup appearance as a coach. Buono says what you see is what you get.
I've not had to deal with anything that's been overly difficult. And I've not had to make too many tough decisions because most of them have been made for me, right? That's why 90% of what you worry about never happens.
As you can see, I can be all over the place, and that's I kind of think fits the way I ran the football. And people thought that there was some talent there. No, it's just a scatterbrained personality.
Although both men differ in styles, they are similar in many other respects, including their religious convictions, which obviously are central to their lives. Michael Whalen, TSN.
Thanks very much, Michael. You know, Pinball is obviously very comfortable dealing with the media at this stage, but I thought he handled himself very well at his first Grey Cup head coaching press conference. That can be a daunting task. Joe, I want to start with you here. As a coach, when you're preparing for any game, do you take into consideration who you're coaching against, or do you just focus on the personnel that they have over on the other sideline?
Well, Dave, the key to the preparation is the coordinators. They normally, the week before, offense and defense and special teams, they do all the legwork. As the game progresses closer, the head coach will go ahead and work with the special teams coach and look at personnel because of injuries and want to go ahead and prep for that phase of the game. And so, you know what, that's usually the key there, Glenn.
Yeah, and you know, when I'm talking about head coaches, Joe, I like to look at the intangible, and that one intangible to me can be how the head coach inspires his football team. And it can be subtle, it can be something he says or something he does. Look back to the Western Final when Duncan O'Mahony had to walk up to Wally Buono and tell him that he wanted and could make a 48-yard field goal to put it into overtime, and then Wally Buono did not hesitate to put him in on second down to make a 40-yarder. It could be a pregame speech, Chris. It could be a halftime kick in the butt, but that inspirational talk can be huge for the coach, and both these coaches can do it.
Absolutely. But for the players, and this is about the players, it's all about familiarization, and it comes in two effective areas. First, the big picture, the structure. What kind of defense are you playing against? Is it passive? Is it aggressive? Who do you identify as the big-time players on offense? That is the first form. And the second is individual. The tackles. How do they take on the defensive ends and pass rushers? The one-on-one defensive back wide receivers, all those little details and on the hip turns and how the receivers run their patterns. Those type of situations are absolutely critical. It's about familiarization because you have a brand new opponent.
And
Dave.
Chelsea, I guess different players react to different types of coaches, right?
Yes.
The military kind of taskmasters versus the guys like a pinball, Clemens,
Yes.
right? It's a different thing.
Well, I think for myself personally, I would probably react very well with Coach Wally Buono because I needed someone to keep me in line. I needed structure. When I'm out of structure, I'm at my worst. Having said that, I give a lot of credit to Michael Clemens. His first year as a head coach, I shook my head and it was like, Mike, they gave you a gift. Now it's his 5th year, and I tell you, he has changed. He is much more of a head coach just in the way he handles everything. Yeah, I'm very proud of him.
And you know, if you're a player, you better adapt to what the coaching style is, right? Because
That's great.
or it's an apple.
And a road
In a road
little snack for your way out of town. Speaking of the players, one of the players that will certainly be a factor on Sunday is Argos running back John Avery. He finished the season with 974 yards rushing, which is a pretty good season by most standards. However, he had over 1,400 yards rushing the last time he played in the CFL back in 2002. That was a year he also went to the Grey Cup with the Edmonton Eskimos, and now he's back in the big game with the Argos. And as Brent Wallace found out, as far as Avery is concerned, it's not about the numbers, it's about the ring.
Like a bouncer in a strip club. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, guys getting rowdy. You know what I mean? They send a little midget in to get him out of there. So that's what I did. You know, it was fun, though. It was fun. It was fun.
While he's not thrilled with the reduced workload, Argo John Avery doesn't mind making light of the fact he's being used as much as a blocker as a running back these days. Toronto's pass-happy offense may be the biggest reason for his low offensive numbers. Avery did manage almost 1,000 yards, averaging just 11 carries per game.
If you look at some of the games, I think for about 4 or 5 games, I average about 6 carries a game. So, I mean, you got to do the math before you start talking. So, it's like, if I don't touch the ball, what can I do?
John will be used exactly how we need to use him to win the football game.
As far as Avery's knee injury, he says he won't be 100% healthy until next season, but he wants the ball as much as possible come Sunday.
John Avery kicks it outside. This could be the finishing touches. Avery, touchdown!
If we throw the ball 80 times and I run it once Sunday and we win, nobody's going to tell me I can't wear my ring. I'm going to wear my ring. I'm going to wear my ring. I might even get a tattoo of the ring on my chest. And, you know, just to make sure people know, hey, I was a part of that. And, you know, I'm still dealing with some things, but at the same time, it's not as bad. So I think I can, you know, duct tape everything together and get one more game.
Despite his obvious frustration with the lack of carries, Avery, a former first-round NFL pick, says he will do whatever it takes to win a championship.
So I had the Batman ring. Couldn't afford the class ring. You know, I got the picture of the class ring I wanted. But you know, this is an opportunity for me to get the Grey Cup ring, which has real diamonds, you know, and my team logo and everything. So I'm just looking forward to try to get this ring Sunday.
Brent Wallace, TSN.
You know, that guy's a character. You really got to like his attitude. He came into our studio early on in the season, and he's the X factor on Sunday, isn't he?
You know what, Dave? Numerically, John Avery has not had a productive year, but there's an old saying that the threat of the attack is greater than the attack itself. And with John Avery, he has such exceptional acceleration. He has that athletic burst, so all you have to do is get him in open space, one-on-one, and he is a major league threat. And I am sure, defensively, BC is worried about what-if scenarios. What if Damon Allen hits John Avery in a swing pass in open space, makes that first guy miss? John Avery has that burst that can take it the distance. He is a quality football player because he can go from the 10-yard line all the way for a touchdown. I like him. I love his personality, but boy, I love that athletic burst.
Well, Chris, you know, we had a similar situation with Ottawa. We had Pat Woodcock come in with a tremendous notoriety. The expectation was almost surreal at times, but you know, nagging injuries really limited his opportunities. And Glenn, you know, don't kid yourself. Toronto wanted him to have a great start, and it wasn't in the cards.
Yeah, and he was banged up, Joe, and he was hurt most of the year, and maybe he didn't reach the yardage that everyone wanted him to reach. But his most important role in this football game may just be what he does when he doesn't have the football in his hands, and that's recognizing the blitz from the BC Lions, whether it be any one of those linebackers or someone from the secondary, recognizing that blitz and making the key block that will allow Damon Allen to get the football out of there and make that big play. What he does when he doesn't have the ball, Dave, equally as important.
Well, that's always important, protecting the quarterback. But right now, with Damon on that wonky knee, right, it becomes even more crucial, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely, because if he picks up that blitz and he gives Damon Allen a little bit more time to get outside and be able to use his ability to run to the outside, either run or throw the ball, then it puts the secondary in a bind. What he does without the football is key.
Time for another break here on CFL Live at the Grey Cup. And when we come back, we're going to be joined right here by the #1 receiver in the CFL this year, G. Roy Simon, when we come back to our nation's capital in Ottawa.
We deserve to win because we're the best team on the field.
Carl Kidd took it away.
You got to come through me.
Crowd again.
We cannot be stopped.
Oh, my.
We work the hardest. We won't back down.
And nobody's going to catch him.
We deserve to win.
It's all about the ring, baby.
It's our time, baby. It's our time.
Welcome back to CFL Live at the Grey Cup, and it is our pleasure to welcome to our set the #1 receiver in the CFL this season, Lion slot back G. Roy Simon. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations on a fantastic season for you as a team and personally. And I'll ask you right off the bat, was it as fun to play in all those great games as it was for us to watch?
Oh, yeah, definitely. To have a season like we had. We started out really slow, and then we finished it strong with a bunch of tight games. It was definitely one of the best seasons I've had and been associated with.
You know, part of that big crowd at the end, G. Roy, over 55,000 for the West Final, tremendous crowd, and part of the reason for that is the play of you guys on offense. I mean, Casey Printers emerges as a star. You have the MVP, former MVP, and Dave Dickinson. Does it matter who throws you the football?
No, it doesn't, as long as they throw it to me. No, it doesn't. You know, as an offense, you know, we feel that we're gonna do the same things regardless who's taking the snaps. And as receivers, we just get to our spots and hope the ball comes to us. And you know, we've had success with both guys, and it's really working out for us.
Now, G. Roy, I know team success is paramount on your mind, the #1 issue, but you've also had a great individual year. Is there something different about this year that you prepared for, that allowed you to have this level of individual success?
I think you know, my work throughout the offseason you know, has helped me throughout this season, but also my coaching staff and the quarterbacks, they have a lot of confidence in me to get me the ball and give me an opportunity to make plays for them. So I think you know, between the coaching staff and the coach and the quarterbacks, you know, they're giving me the opportunities to catch balls and make things happen, and I'm just trying to take advantage of my opportunities.
G. Roy, we had a conversation early on in the season about how you and the rest of the receivers, I mean, this is quite a group when you look across the board, how you compete in practice. Fill the fans in on what goes on behind closed doors.
Well, we just, you know, we want to be the best, and that means, you know, being the best in the league as receivers, being the best on the team as a receiver, and it's a friendly competition. You know, it's not anything where we're going to tell each other the wrong route to run or anything like that, but you know, we're going to push each other to be the best that we can be and to do the best, and you know, that you know, gives us that drive to work hard and to be successful.
Now, the Argonaut defense, it seems to me, they don't really dominate teams. They kind of diffuse teams. I wonder about your thoughts going into this game about that secondary and any specific people that you have to compete against.
Well, we have to compete against them all because they're a team. They don't play a lot of man-to-man. They play more zone, but they all work together as one unit. So they play well together. They're a bend but don't break, and you just have to be patient with them. And when they give you the opportunity, you got to take advantage of it.
You said earlier, G-Roy, you don't change anything, whether it's Casey Printers or Dave Dickinson in there, despite the fact that they're kind of different quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, they are different quarterbacks. We don't change, the whole offense. We might tweak a thing here or two. Casey's a little more athletic than Dave is. We might change up as, moving the pocket or something like that, but we don't change our plays.
Well, listen, we really appreciate you coming in, and I'm not going to let this interview end without doing one thing here. You got to get up here, because as much as I'm a fan of you playing, I love your celebration. So you got to tell me how I'm doing. Is it like that? How's it go?
Man. You know what? You gotta be. You're a little stiff.
Give me some lessons. I want.
You gotta put your hands behind.
Put my hands behind my back.
Drop your hips and then bob the head.
G-Roy, thanks for coming out, man.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back. You're watching CFL Live, the Grey Cup. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Join us Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're right back at you. CFL Live at the Grey Cup. Anthony Calvillo, one of the several nominees for Outstanding Player Awards. He's up for the Outstanding Player. There's all the other awards to be handed out on Thursday night as well. So, on that note, Glenn Suter, you have been kind of riding the fence the last couple of weeks on our show.
Yeah.
Afraid to make predictions. You won't
Not
go
afraid.
one way or the other.
Not afraid, just won't.
Say what you will.
Okay.
Well, I'll call it afraid. You can say whatever. But now I'm in your face. Now you're right here. There's no fences for you to sit on. So I'm going to pin you down. Most outstanding player. Who's it going to be?
All right, I'll tell you what. When you look at this and break it down, 6,000 yards, only one of 4 quarterbacks in CFL history for Anthony Calvillo this season. Great year. He had a lot of wins for that team. But then there's Casey Printers, who's a showstopper. And when you look at his numbers...
Wait. This is what I'm talking about.
What?
You got to pick one.
I'm saying I could go either way.
No, prediction. Come on. You got to go pick one.
All right, look, no disrespect to Anthony Calvillo, but when you compare the numbers, they're pretty close. I think the guys will vote for Casey Printers as outstanding player.
Now, was that so hard?
But,
No. Printers it is. Joe?
Well, the numbers are so similar in all the categories. But the one I really like is the Players Association, where the coaches and players get to actually choose the top players within the league. And, I think that's more realistic. Chris,
hey, Coach, you know what? I'll make a prediction. I predict the team that wins the vast majority of the individual honors, they'll lose the game. Simple as that. It's an amazing process, but the team that doesn't get recognized individually, they always play well come Grey Cup Sunday.
Yeah. See, there's Calvillo, who has the...
We got you down. It's on tape, and right now Anthony Calvillo is burning holes in the TV looking at you. No, they both had great seasons. It is a tough one to pick, that's for sure. By the way, we are here each and every night for CFL Live, and then on Saturday night, the night before the Grey Cup, it's a 1-hour CFL countdown show. Don't miss it. We'll be back right here at the Aberdeen Pavilion with a big party going on in behind us, and we'll get you all set for the 92nd Grey Cup Classic between the Toronto Argonauts and the BC Lions. On behalf of Schultze and Suits and Jock Climbey and our guest analyst Joe Pow, thanks for watching. You are watching TSN, Canada's football leader.